Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike. This is going to be my review on new comics that were released on August 18, 2021. First up, we got DC Comics Batman and Catwoman number 6 from Tom King. This is a story where Batman and Catwoman have had a child in the future, and it has a future, like a past, present, and future storyline. In the future storyline, it is following Helena Wayne, who is Bruce and Selina's daughter. She is the current Batman, but Batwoman at the moment. She is also the current Catwoman. She kind of goes back and forth. It is set up on a murder mystery style, like who killed the Joker kind of thing, and it is revealed that Catwoman, Helena's mom, killed the Joker. Helena is trying to figure that out. Of course, she is the current Batman, so it's kind of set up as a murder mystery. But of course, we know from the beginning that she is. There's this in the present storyline. Andrea Beaumont, the Phantasm, is after Batman and Catwoman, and she is trying to still kill the Joker. She has this revenge thing going on. It's shown right here in the beginning of the book that the Joker and Helena are having this pleasant Christmas conversation about the tree and the ornaments, how Joker had stole the tree, and how Helena had stole a lot of the different ornaments, and Joker is very curious about her tales on how she stole or why she stole the ornaments. Going on in the background, the present storyline, you have Andrea has kidnapped Catwoman and is holding her hostage, and she wants Joker in exchange, and Batman has just captured Joker and has him in Arkham. Batman is not for it, so of course he can't go along with it, and then it's just pretty much this whole fight between Andrea and Batman, and Andrea just has this whole come on Batman, it has never worked, let me just kill him and end it, and of course Batman can't do that. In the future style, in the future plot line, they have Helena and her mom, Catwoman, Selina, are they kind of have a girls' night out, where it's a night at home at the Wayne Mansion, and eventually it kind of spews out into a tag team, Catwoman and Batwoman night on the town patrol style. Of course, and Catwoman in all her old woman glory, still kicking butt, but they do show Dick Grayson is the current commissioner at this time. They do have more of the background with Joker and Helena, and it's not set up as Joker's there on mischievous things. He is a Bat fan, #1 fan, so it might be that she is protected because she is, the daughter of Bruce and Selina. But it doesn't come across like that to me, that he's there under nefarious things. It's just kind of like a family conversation. It's really weird, that part of the Joker and Helena storyline. And they do show a lot of the a mom and daughter team up, and the Catwoman making a lot of weird references about the current future villains being really weird compared to the supervillains that they were fighting. At the very end, after they are done with the mom and daughter patrol, Helena gets a knock on the door, and someone's at the door, and I want to say it could be Bruce Wayne. I mean, there's no names or anything, and it kind of looks like Bruce, but it could be anybody. It could, I don't know, but it's supposed to be a reveal that somebody's there. But currently in the storyline, Bruce Wayne he's supposed to be past, he's supposed to be dead, so it might be a reveal Bruce Wayne's still alive. Next up from Image, we have Second Chances #1, and first off, this is a black and white comic, but of course that don't matter to me. It was a great story, great art, a great first issue, but basically it's set up as we're following this Second Chances business, and Second Chances business is basically if you've done something wrong, or blah blah blah, you need a new life. Basically, they set it up. They come get you out of your Jimmy Jam, and then they set you up with a new identity and stuff like that, and move you along your way. They start the book out where the guy who runs Second Chances, gets a call from one of his previous clients, and he is in a Jimmy Jam of a spot, let's just say, and for some reason he has murdered like this whole room of people, and now for whatever reasons he has these crazy high-tech sci-fi looking samurai assassins after him. That's kind of the main plot of the story. Is in the beginning, the guy that runs Second Chances is supposed to show up and save this guy Paul, his friend, and eventually he gets killed by those assassins, and he makes a promise to the guy like, oh, I'll help you, and right after that, the guy ends up dying. So the whole rest of the book, they are now after the guy from Second Chances. And so he is just on the run and also trying to figure out what that guy was doing, what he did, and it's this whole kind of noir murder mystery, police detective, private eye story. They also go into they do an explanation on like Second Chances, what they do and how they set it up and stuff like that, and how some people it works for them and some people they can't stay hidden for long. They do show this another main character. It's this woman here. She works for Second Chances. She's kind of like the investigation part of Second Chances, and they show her, doing this espionage thing where she's kind of posing as a secretary for this boss, and she's going through his email as he leaves work, and they show her after she gets done doing her espionage stuff that she is greeted in a parking lot by this lady, and the lady's trying to get some help or something, and of course, getting too close and getting too handsy, and the girl not paying too close attention, and the girl gets all too touchy-feely, and bam, with the syringe, she gets, kidnapped by this strange new lady. We go back to our main character, and he is still running from these high-tech, samurai-looking assassins that are now after him. They do show do his investigation that he has led to this mansion, and eventually he gets into the mansion and he starts looking around, and he does find out that there's that the bad guys have already been there, and he doesn't understand how, but we find that it was that the lady from beginning, the one that got kidnapped, and she is here, and somehow she is being drugged, because now she's like a supervillain. She's trying to kill our main character, and that they work together, so we know something's going on. They do show right here what she's seeing, and you see he's wearing this weird cybernetic armor and everything, and that they show right next to him. That's not what's going on. But he kind of quickly takes her out non-lethally and knocks her out, and all of a sudden he gets a phone call, and it's his girlfriend, and it's revealed that it was the girl that kidnapped that other girl from the beginning. She's watching from afar with a sniper, looking at the same house that he entered. So it looks like we're going to have to find out what's going on with him and her, But for our first read, it was really good. The art was amazing. The story was real well paced. The way it reads is really funny, because it kind of reminded me like the guy sounds like a game show host or something. That's just my thoughts, though. Next up, Marvel, we have Sinister War number 3, and man, what a great read. I've been waiting for this book in this series because Sinister War just sounds cool, and the first two issues they were okay, but I mean, it just sounds like a crazy story to get go. It's like 6 different 6-man teams after Spider-Man, and Spider-Man already has enough trouble with a couple of these guys, so I mean, it's like 60-something supervillains after one little Spider-Man. Of course, he is already in the middle of it. This is the 3rd issue, and Spider-Man is worse for wear. He's hurt. He's crippling, trying to hop away from everything, and sure enough, he is greeted by Black Cat and Wolverine, and he's like, oh God, thank you, I need some help, and it is revealed instantly that it's just another trick. It's Mysterio and the original Sinister Six, and they have caught up to him, and Spider-Man starts trying to hop away from them. We see that Kindred is moving along and doing more of his plan. It is later revealed that he resurrects a older Spider-Man villain, and I am not aware of who this is. If you do, please let me know down below. But he resurrects this pretty cool villain, in my opinion. But they show that Spider-Man is still trying to flip-flopping around and trying to avoid everybody. Even stresses that his spider sense doesn't even work at this point because there's so much going on. Eventually, he is captured by Doc Ock, shown in the pictures, and Doc Ock has a moment of hesitation. For reference, all these villains have a piece of kindred in them, like a little worm, and it's kind of like a Suicide Squad thing, where if they don't kill Spider-Man or one of the group, you know, that the bugs inside their brains are going to explode or something like that, and they'll die. So that's kind of the pressure for all the villains to kill Spider-Man. We do see that with the resurrected villain, that he is somehow activating, and he is calling out from his friends that now that he is resurrected, it's time for the old get-go. We do see that the Savage Six now fighting Spider-Man are more fighting each other. You know, Spider-Man is using his grace and his you know, getting them to knock into each other and stuff like that. We see that another Sinister Six group, and actually another two different groups show up at the same time. You know, Beetle's group and one of the other groups show up, and they start mingling. We do find out that Boomerang and Demons, you know, Speed Demons group, that they end up more along the lines trying to help Peter. Of course, you know, Peter and Boomerang being roommates recently and that kind of stuff. They do some second-handery stuff where they allow Peter to slip away, and as he's slipping away, he finally finds a dumpster and starts to take a rest. And that is where when we see that the new villain has already found Peter Parker, and there's no rest for Peter, and he has his team with him. Now I do recognize some of these. I see the Great Gargoyle, Whirlwind. It looks like a juiced up version of Juggernaut. A lot of the other people I don't know. There's a guy in the far off background. I don't recognize him. I don't recognize this guy to the left and the main guy. So if y'all know anything about those guys, let me know. Because I am out of the loop on Spider-Man. But overall, for an issue, it was amazing, amazing, amazing. I've been waiting for this. Hopefully it will be like the same thing with the ending. Let's keep it going. Next up, DC Nightwing number 83. Man, what a great issue. This might be my number one out of this week, and I will explain why. So we are catching up with the events of Nightwing having a sister, a long-lost sister that was brought up by the Maroni family that is tied with Nightwing's own origins, you know, to begin with. Nightwing has recently inherited Alfred's billions, not really billions, but maybe a billion, or, you know, mega millions kind of thing. He has been on the investigation of, you know, his sister. I think I'm drawing a blank at her name. I think it's Marlene, but I'm not positive. Marlene Zuko, but she is the current mayor of Bloodhaven, and she has just been nominated mayor, you know, just been elected mayor. So he has been kind of, you know, skeptical and investigating her. He has broken into her house, and they show that this is, you know, right where the last one left off. Blockbuster working for the mayor, and also, like, in the background, secret control, he believes, because he's a bad guy, right? But the police and Blockbuster are there to save the mayor from the terror that is Nightwing. Inside, we see that Nightwing and the conversation between, and I think her name is Marlene, but and if, I'm sorry, I'm bad with name, guys, but we do find out that she is a good guy, not a villain, and she wants to, you know, that she is actually working for the FBI, and she wants to tag team up with Nightwing. It basically revealed that she has been going to city, and she has been cleaning out, you know, types of crime, like organized crime, that are within police departments and mayor official offices and stuff like that. Nightwing at the same time reveals that Blockbuster is going to come through, which they show, and he kind of sets up this whole, like, where he, you know, makes it look like he kidnapped and persuades Blockbuster to take it outside on the rooftop. It's Nightwing's whole guise to make Blockbuster look more like a villain, like he is. I will say the art in this book is just effing phenomenal, as you can see, and it just gets better as the book goes. But as the fight with Blockbuster and Nightwing happen outside, Blockbuster gets tired and lazy to fight Nightwing, and eventually calls the cops to start shooting at Nightwing. Nightwing, worried about the citizens, takes the fire towards the helicopter. While doing this crazy grapple move, he ends up grappling two of the guys, looping around and knocking out the other two, and ends up, taking the whole helicopter hostage and fleeing away like that. This is going after a whole 2-day spiel of Nightwing continuously fighting different, threats, starting with Heartless, leading into this whole, like, Marlena Zuko thing with Blockbuster. So eventually he finally gets to make it home, where Barbara is greeting him, and he collapses, and he finally wakes up, and it's revealed that he slept for a whole solid 2 days. And he is finally, while he slept, he finally decided what to do with the billion, all the money that Alfred left him. And he has wanted to help, but just not known how to help. It shows that he goes to a lot of different places for advice. Like they show right here, he goes to the Thompson's Free Clinic, which is a huge, Easter egg, and it's one of Batman's main friends. Leslie Thompson. But they show him going to the Teen Titans and getting advice from them. They show him going to Lucius Fox at Wayne Industries. And last but not least, but in DC Comics, the one that gave Nightwing his name, Superman. And there's this great moment between Superman and Dick Grayson, and they're talking. It's first talking about how come he didn't contact Bruce, and then there's this background joke about how Bruce probably wouldn't have even picked up the phone, that text would probably be a better format. And they get into Nightwing kind of tell Superman about his whole plot and what he wants to do, and Superman just tells him, man, it's amazing, and that's why he's always looked up to Nightwing as a hero and as a great individual. And that's why Bruce has the same thoughts, even though Nightwing might not think so. There's this very touching scene at the end right here where Superman, gives him some advice, and in return asked Nightwing. He tells Nightwing that he's going to go away from a very long time, and that the weight of the world will be put on his son's shoulder, John, because he is taking up the mantle of Superman. And he kind of asked him to be like a role model, to be there, if John ever needs it. Which I thought was a really cool moment, cool thing. They do go to the next day where Dick Grayson has a press conference and is finally revealing to the world what his plan is and what he is planning to do. And it's actually pretty amazing. He is it's starting in Bloodhaven, but he is basically he is going to give all Bloodhaven free energy, free housing, like no one has to pay for lights or rents or basically any bills. Guaranteed jobs for everybody, even if you don't technically have a job, you somehow still get a paycheck. All these, he has figured out how, where it's a continually a non-profit, but somehow it's not something that anybody needs to fund type of thing. And it just sounds, like he's basically trying to get rid of poverty, and he is basically trying to get rid of, homelessness. And not in a shelter or seedy kind of way that most of us have in our states here in America. He does name it the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation, and he says that it's going to go global, that eventually it's going to start in Bloodhaven, and if it's successful it will grow and expand nationwide. I would love that to come to Houston, and not paying for rent or light bills. That would be crazy. Get my whole paycheck to myself. What are you talking about? The comics that you'd see here, man. But they do this touching page right here where the whole Bat family reaches out and congratulates him, tells him what a great job. Damian even states that, hey bro, it's not a competition, man, you don't need to one-up everybody. But at the very end we do see that Bruce does call Dick and it tells him that it was an awesome tribute and a touching tribute to Alfred. Honestly, this panel here got me to cry. I literally had to drop the book, even though there's only one more page left, but it got me to cry. It was touching. I miss Alfred, man. But they do show on the next page that some people are not all too happy with Dick's current decision and what he's going to do. That they show that the Heartless is, he actually congratulates Dick on his plan, and if he didn't already have plans in motion, that they might be some of the smartest thing that he has ever heard. But of course it is not lined up with what the Heartless wants to do, and that's where this issue leads off. Look like the Heartless gonna go back after Mr. Dick Grayson. Last but not least, but another good book, but Shazam number 204, right out of the pages of Teen Titan Academy. We are following the adventures of Billy Batson, and he is currently with Dale. Billy Batson is having problems with his powers connecting to the Rock of Eternia. They have found out that it is in the nether regions of hell, and so recently finding out that Dale has powers similar to Raven, they have teleported to hell, and they are looking for the Rock of Eternia. Quickly, when they get here, Shazam kind of goes over with Dale, and Dale kind of tells him that he does have this power to teleport here, but he's never been here. Shazam reveals that he has been there quite a bit, and explains to Dale that the whole thing is set up on desire, to don't get too distracted or be taken in by anything. At the same time, please don't use any magic to win at any of the gambling casinos. They kind of go here, and then they end up. Dale ends up breaking off, and he does end up going to play some games. We do run into this character right here. Her name is Arena, and she quickly takes a liking to Billy Batson. She kind of, at first he has a problem finding any information about the Rock of Eternia, but she kind of tells him that he wants to talk to this guy, this demon named Sabak, who runs this casino that they are in. Dale has had extremely well luck, as they show here, and he won a bunch of money, which is it's not money here, it's a souls. He won like a crap ton of souls, but it is also revealed that Dale did use some of his magic, and he cheated to win the said souls, and so they are taken backstage to incidentally talk to Sabak, just the person that Shazam was looking for. They never really get to question him about the Rock of Eternia, because Sabak is pretty mad that Dale had used his powers to cheat in the gambling games. Dale is quickly kind of grabbed in the whole mess, and Shazam kind of takes off, especially because at the moment he cannot turn into Shazam. He is still having problems because the Rock of Eternia is not where it's supposed to be. As he is running, he is later kind of snagged up by Arena, and she saves him, and it is revealed that Billy Batson kind of has like a thing for Arena, and she kind of, and she kind of likes that. It is also revealed that Arena is the daughter to Sabak, and that she kind of explains a little bit about who he is, and also at the same time Shazam has been kind of worried about Dale because he left him behind, and she kind of hints that Dale is perfectly fine, and that Shazam did not realize who Dale was. They do show that Sabak and his crew is sticking Dale over here with pitchforks and stuff like that. Shazam keeps trying to activate his powers, and finally they do activate, and it's because he's closer to the Rock of Eternia. And the fight ensues, and Shazam quickly takes out all the minions. Sabak mentions that he likes the effect that he transformed into Shazam. Billy went from Billy to Shazam, and reveals that he can do the same thing, except instead of changing form, he just grows in size. and then it's a whole fight between Shazam and kaiju-sized Sobek. Shazam is quickly outmatched. Sobek has strength-wise, he is just quickly grabs Shazam, and he's just basically squeezing the life out of him, and eventually he starts draining his soul. He kind of mentions that Shazam is out of his league, and as shown right here from behind Sobek and Shazam, we hear someone else says that it's funny that he mentioned that he is out of his league, because it is revealed that Dale has been not so forthright with who he is, but he is the son of the Lord of the Underworld. Now, I know that man as Lucifer, so I'm not sure if this is the son of Lucifer. This might be a first appearance, if this is who Dale is. And I'm pretty sure Dale might be some anagram to that, kind of like a Alucard, Dracula's son kind of thing. But we do see, and I keep saying Dale, his name is Dane. But we do see, bad with name, guys. But we do see that Dane is revealed to be, and he calls himself the Nevermore, and it's stated on the cover of the comic. But we do see that he has a very Lucifer appearance, like he has the wings of the angels, and he has his own fiery sword. But it looks like we're going to find out more in the next issue. But those are my reviews on these comics. I have one more out of this week coming up, so stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know if you read these comics, what you think. If you didn't, did I pique your interest on them, kind of thing. Alright guys, I'll catch you later.